Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Draftkings slate, Xfinity Series, Martinsville. Got a big race in Martinsville this week. This is a track where Xfinity Series doesn't race, so I don't have any data for this track for these drivers, but I got tracks similar that we're going to get into. Before I do that, if you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All that stuff really helps me grow. Trying to get to 400 subscribers by Thanksgiving. Slowly getting closer to that, so hit me with that subscribe. It takes 2 seconds of your time, and it's free to use, so it really helps me out. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon, but I mean, there's really only 2 races left, so if you really want to, I mean, go for it. But you can also get some of my NFL stuff if you're into that as well. Go check out my NFL videos as well on this page. But let's get into the video. AJ Allmendinger, he's 12,500, most expensive driver in the slate, as he always is when he's in the field. He starts dead last, well, 37th. It's not dead last, actually, second to last in this field. I don't have any data for him on flat tracks, but he does have the 7th best average finish at short tracks. Look, AJ Allmendinger is good. We know what he brings to the table. He's in a fast car for Calic Racing. He's one of the best drivers, if not the best in the field. He is going to move up in the field. He'll get a top 10 as long as he doesn't wreck. He can lead laps. He can win this race. He's a good play. I'm not going to tell you not to play him if you're playing cash games. Lock in AJ Allmendinger, as we always do in races. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about him, but he is a very good play, and I definitely want to target that. Chase Briscoe is going to be the first Dominator I'm interested in. He's 11,500. He starts 5th. He has the 6th best average finish at flat tracks and the 6th best average finish at short tracks. When you go get lap sled, he's got 45 at flat tracks and 220 at short tracks. I mean, none of the flat tracks are exactly like Martinsville. None of the short tracks are exactly like Martinsville. So you kind of got to go on like a little bit of combined thing here. He's pretty good at both. When you go look at the last 5 races for Chase Briscoe, he has an average finish of 6th and 385 laps led. The guy's just been on a roll. It's come to the point where it's just pretty much Chase Briscoe is always in play for me, literally every single race. I don't ever want to fade him. I don't think it's smart to ever get off of him. He has so much upside, and he's just been on fire. I mean, yeah, he's locked into the Final Four already, but I think he would have won that race last week if he didn't have problems with his car. So yeah, Chase Briscoe, definitely a great play again. Austin Centrix on the pole for this race, 11,100. He has the 4th best average finish at flat tracks and the 4th best average finish at short tracks. When you look at lap sled, he has 122 at flat tracks and 213 at short tracks. So he's pretty good at these tracks that are kind of similar to this. Average finish of 5.75 in the last 5 races and 75 laps led. I think he's a good play as well. Another good Dominator play. Guys starting to pull at Martinsville usually lead a good portion of the laps, so I expect that to happen with him. He's going to be in a fast car for Penske, so I think he's a great play. Justin Algar is going to be my favorite Dominator play of the week. Starts 6th. He has best average finish at flat tracks and short tracks, and the best average position at both as well, with 718 laps led at flat tracks and 1,524 at short tracks. These are the tracks that he succeeds at. Average finish of 4.2 in the last 5 races, which is the best, and 213 laps led. This is just a track. Short tracks are what he's good at. Yeah, we don't have any data for Martinsville, but I mean, he just has always been so good at short tracks. He's definitely going to be my favorite play as a Dominator. He's 10,700. He'll probably be the most popular Dominator play, but I don't care. I think he's a great option at $10,700. I'm going to pay for him. I'm going to want 2 Dominators in every lineup, and Algar would be the first one I would put in if I'm making one lineup. So Justin Algar definitely really like that. Harrison Burton starts 10th, 10,300, coming off a win last week at Texas. I think he's a solid option. He has the 3rd best average finish at flat tracks, 2nd best at short tracks. When you look at lap sled, only 11 at flat, but 81 at short tracks. So, I mean, he can get around. He's just really never a lap leader, so probably not someone I want to get a ton of exposure to. Average finish 8.8 in the last 5 races and 11 laps led. I mean, I think he's okay if you want to get there, but there's definitely other guys I'd rather get to in a race where there is going to be a lot of laps that are going to happen because it's Martinsville. There's just a ton of laps in these races, so I don't know if Harrison Burton's really the guy I want to get to, but I think he's okay. I don't think he'll be owned, so that's fine. Noah Gradison starts 7th, $10,000. He has the 2nd best average finish at flat tracks and the 3rd best average finish at short tracks. When we go look at lap sled, it's 53 at flat tracks and 126 at short tracks. In the last 5 races, he's an average finish of 5.5 and 29 laps led, and he's in a must-win situation after he just blew it on the last turn last week. But yeah, he's in a must-win situation, has to win this race, and Noah Gragson's had success at this track in the Truck Series. I believe he's won a race here. I know he's led a lot of laps, so this is a track where I know he can drive well at. We just haven't seen him drive in an Xfinity car. I think he's kind of going to be a little underrated coming into this race. I don't think that people think he's going to, be as big of a Dominator factor as he really probably will be, especially if I'm in a must-win situation. So I think he's a really good option. He's probably not going to be as high owned as like Briscoe, Centrix, and Algar, but I do like Noah Gragson. And the last guy I like to dominate this race is Ross Chastain, starting 4th at $9,700. He has the 8th best average finish at flat tracks and the 9th best at short tracks. When you go look at laps led, 132 at flat tracks and 145 at short tracks. So he's had success leading laps in these types of races. 7.6 average finish in the last 5 races and 162 laps led. So I think Ross Chastain's another guy of upside who can definitely lead laps. Justin Haley, I'm not too interested in. He does have the 5th best average finish at flat tracks, the 8th best average finish at short tracks. But when you go look at laps led, 51 at flat tracks, but only 6 at short tracks. So that's not really too encouraging. Only 58 laps led in the last 5 races with an average finish of 7.6. He just feels a lot less likely to lead laps than some of these other drivers who have just shown it more. Riley Hurst is probably going to be chalky at $9,100, starting 24th. He's the 14th best average finish at flat tracks and 11th best at short tracks. In the last 5 races, he's an average finish of 16.5. I don't think Riley Hurst is really that necessary. I already actually made my lineups for this race before filming the video, at least my first round of them. And I don't have any Riley Hurst. I don't think I'm going to play him. I think he's fine. I think he's got place differential upside. He's pretty safe. But there's just some guys that are a little bit cheaper with place differential upside that allows you to fill in more of these guys up towards top. So I don't know if that's really the spot I really want to get to. Like on other slates where it just wasn't guys that were like around this price range or around the starting position that I thought could move up a lot, I would go to Riley Hurst. But I think there's other drivers in this round where he's starting that have more upside that are cheaper that we'll get into than Riley Hurst. But I do think he's fine. I mean, he's in really good equipment. You can't ever count him out, I guess, to get a top 5, but he does wreck a lot as well, so he's kind of risky. And Martinsville's track there's a lot of wrecks. So Brandon Jones, 8,900, starting 7th. I think he's got sneaky upside to dominate this race, but I don't think he's as likely as the guys I listed earlier. 7th best average finish at flat tracks, 5th at short tracks. He does have 70 laps led at flat tracks and 201 at short tracks, so if there was a race he was going to dominate, I think this is it. If Brandon Jones, which it looks like he is going to get into the Final Four, he is definitely underrated to win this championship, because Phoenix he won earlier this year, but we'll get into that next week's video. We'll see what happens this week. But yeah, Brandon Jones, sneaky at Dominator upside. I don't think he will, but I think it's there. Average finish at 10 in the last 5 races, only 18 laps led. Mcleod, 8,700, starting 11th. Has the 9th best average finish at flat tracks, 12th at short tracks. When you go look at the last 5 races, an average finish at 12th. I mean, he's all right. He's probably not going to move up anything, just kind of hang around that spot. That's probably not a spot I really want to attack. I don't really want to attack Jeb Burton either. 10th best average finish at flat tracks, 10th at short tracks. Last 5 races for Jeb Burton, 14.66 average finish, starting 8th. Don't want to go there. I don't ever play Timmy Hill. I mean, he has an average finish of 27.5 in the last 5 races. I'm going to avoid that. Ryune Sieg starts 9th, 12th best average finish at flat tracks, 15th at short tracks. Last 5 races for Ryune Sieg, an average finish of 9.8 and 44 laps led. I don't think he's going to get up front and lead laps. I just think he's going to hang around right there, maybe get like top 4 or 5, but that's probably not going to do it if the rest of the guys in top 10 lead laps. So probably not someone I really want to get to. Brett Moffitt's probably going to get no ownership, so he could end up being a nice leverage play to have. Starting 14th, he has the 11th best average finish at flat tracks, 14th at short tracks. In the last 5 races, has an average finish of 14.2. He's got top 10 upside. Not a lot of people are going to play him. And if all these other guys in his price range like wreck or fail, he can end up being a really good spot. Jeremy Clements starts 23rd, 7,800. He has the 13th best average finish at flat tracks, 13th at short tracks. In the last 5 races, has an average finish of 14.6. So there's one of those other guys I was talking about, like that offer a lot of place differential to possibly get off of Riley Hurst. 7,800 versus 9,100 for 1 spot difference is a lot. Yeah, Riley Hurst might finish 8th and Clements might finish 12th, but that's like a big price difference that I'd rather have there. So Jeremy Clements definitely interested in him. I think he's definitely someone I want to get some ownership to. Greg Galding, 7,600, starts 31st. He's a little bit expensive for me. I mean, his equipment's good, but 7,600 is a lot. But he does start 31st. He at least has top 20 upside. I think he's fine. Probably wouldn't try to get too much ownership to him, but I think he's an alright play. Brandon Brown starts 12th at 7,500. He has the 15th best average finish at flat tracks, 16th at short tracks. Last 5 races for Brandon Brown's an average finish of 13.8. He'll probably just hang around right there, so probably not too interested. Ryan Vargas, I'm not interested at all. 24th best average finish at flat tracks, 21st at short tracks. Last 5 races, actually he has like an average finish at 8 because he finished 8th last week, but that was just from attrition. So I don't really want to get to Ryan Vargas. Starts 17th. I don't think he moves up that much. Probably gonna avoid him. Now, Snyder is my favorite play in the week. And you're probably thinking, what? He has a 30th best average finish here, or at flat tracks. Yeah, he does, but he is back in the number 21 car for RCR. He started out the season driving that car, and then he's kind of been on and off at that in number 93. The 21 cars, Car Anthony Alfredo or Kaz Grala, those have been the main 2 guys in it this year outside of Snyder. They have been driving that car. And when Snyder drove this car, so let's see. We had a short track at Bristol where he finished 5th, and we had a flat track at Pocono where he led a bunch of laps. So Mike Snyder has some crazy upside in that number 21 car. He's only 7,100. He's still priced like he's in a 93 car. He starts 22nd, and he has top 5 upside, and he can honestly win this race. That equipment is just so much better. No, and I don't know if the public's going to know that. Hopefully the public's not going to know that, and we're going to get a low-owned Mike Snyder, and we're going to get a pretty good GPP play. I don't know. I'm going to play him. I think he's the best play on the slate because I think he's a driver that offers us top 5 upside and lap sled upside at $7,100. Wait, what did I say? Yeah, and place differential upside. That's what I meant to say. Place differential upside with top 5 upside. And lap sled upside at $7,100. You don't get that like ever in NASCAR DraftKings. Like that's rare, especially this year to have that. And I want to attack that as much as I can. I mean, he was the highest owned driver I had in my first round of lineups. I don't really know if I'm going to adjust them too much because I don't really have time this week. But Mike Snyder, I think, is just a great play. I mean, he's my favorite play on the entire slate. Honestly, I just like he should be in the 8K range because of that 21 car that he's in. If Anthony Alfredo was driving and he was starting 22nd, he would not be $7,100. So let's put that into perspective. And honestly, Mike Snyder's done kind of better than Anthony Alfredo in that car. I mean, they've been kind of similar, but Snyder has led laps where we haven't really seen Alfredo be a dominator at all. So, yeah, I think Snyder's a great play. Mason Diaz in the number 26 car, starting 38th. He can't really go down, so $6,900. I mean, I guess he can lose one spot, but it's probably not going to happen. I think he's in a good spot. They got sponsorship on that car, so he's good to go. I think $6,900 not going to kill you in price. I think he's a good play. BJ Mcleod, starting 29th, $6,700. He has 20th best average finish at short tracks or at flat tracks, 25th at short tracks. In the last 5 races, only an average finish of 26.2. I think there's better options, but I think he's fine. Offers us some place differential starting 29th. Definitely his top 20 upside. Alex Labay, 6,600, starting 16th. I think he's fine. Can get you. He has top 10 upside. I mean, he's been running pretty well the last 5 races, I believe. Oh crap, never mind. That's right. He wrecked out. So that doesn't look as good. But before last 2 races, he's been like getting top 15s consistently. He can compete for a top 10 for sure and good equipment. So I think Alex Labay is definitely a solid option here. Probably not going to get a ton of him, but he's fine. Josh Williams starts too high for me. I don't want to go there. Stefan Parsons, $6,200, starting 36. 16th best average finish at flat tracks, 24th at short tracks. In the last 5 races, he's an average finish of 21.5. He's in that 99 car for BJ Mcleod Motorsports with sponsorship, and he's looked pretty fast in that car this year. Definitely has top 20 upside, but at least top 25. I mean, he's just $6,200 starting 36. It's just a great play. Like, there's just a lot of great plays starting in the back this week, and Parsons is just one of them. I want to get a lot of ownership to him. I am going to get a lot of ownership to him. J.J. Yeley as well, starting 39th. I don't really care about his stats because they've been in a different car. He's driving to number 17 for Rick Ware Racing this week. We saw Cody Ware driving into a top 10 at the Roval, but I mean, that was a completely crazy race. But J.J. Yeley's a pretty good driver. He usually doesn't wreck out. He usually finds a way to keep that car clean. So he definitely has top 25 upside. Could hit the top 20 for sure. So at only $6,000, and he can't go down. He's starting dead last. I think he's a great play. Kyle Weatherman starts 34th. I mean, usually Kyle Weatherman starting 34th I'd be interested in, but with all this other value around here, I don't need it at all. Like, you just don't need to go there. Like, I mean, you can just play Yale, you can play Mason Diaz, you can play Parsons, Josh Ryune, Fincham. We can get in all these guys. I just don't think you need to risk that mechanical issues that he always has. He has a lot, so I'm probably not going to go there. If you're playing tournaments, I think you can get to him, but if I'm only making a few lines, I'm probably just going to avoid Kyle Weatherman. Colby Howard starts 27th at 5,700. I think he's a solid option. Again, like on usual Xfinity slates, he'd be a guy I'd really want to target, but I don't think I need to. Last 5 races, average finish of 25.33. He was doing well earlier in the year, but recently he's kind of slowed down. Probably not going to get any ownership there. Joe Graff Jr., same thing, starting 25th. He is a guy who wrecks a lot. He's 21st best average finish at Martinsville, at flat tracks, 20th at short tracks. Last 5 races for him, average finish of 25th, so probably not going to want to go there. Tommy Joe Martin starts way too high for me. Jesse Little starts high, but I don't hate it. The heck just happened? Okay, that was weird. He starts high, but I don't hate it. Last 5 races for Jesse Little, an average finish of 25th. I mean, it's not great, but he can definitely move up a little bit. I don't hate it. Josh Ryune. Okay, so Josh Ryune is in the 93 car that we've seen Mike Snyder drive all year. It's not great equipment. Like, it's not. But it's better than $5,300 starting at 32nd equipment. Like, he should definitely be able to get a top 25 out of that and maybe compete for a top 20. At $5,300, that's really, really cheap. I like it a lot. Gets you some place differential spots. He's got sponsorship. He's in a better car than like the rest of these guys down here. So that for sure makes me interested in him. I think he's a fine play. I'll definitely want to get some exposure to him. Jeffrey Earnhardt starts way too high for me in 20th. Chad Fincham starts 33rd. He's driving the 61 car this week, $5,100. He has sponsorship too, so I don't really know what to expect from him, man. These MBM cars just always confuse me, man. I really don't know what to expect with Chad Fincham. I think he's okay. I think he has the upside, but like he's definitely risky. If I'm making a few laps, I'm probably not going to go there. But he definitely does have some upside, so I don't hate it. Bailey Curry and Matt Mills start way too high for me. I'm not going to go there. Cody Vanderwall sucks. Donald Dietschy is in the number 90 car for DGM this week, and it has sponsorship. So this is an interesting one. He's $4,600. Like, he might finish around 28th, but he could compete, get into the top 25 or even the top 20, and he's $4,600. I don't hate it. He's in better equipment than all of these guys down here, all of them. From Earnhardt down to Long, he's in the best equipment by far, and he's got sponsorship, and he's $4,600. I don't hate it. I'm going to get some exposure to him. Probably not a ton, but I'm going to get there. I think he's a good play. I want to get some exposure to him. And then Carl Long is the biggest. I have no idea at all right now. He's driving the number 66 for MBM. So if you don't know about MBM racing or motorsports, whatever it's called, the 66, the 61, and 13. So Timmy Hill and Chad Fincham pretty much race every race. Then you get some other guys in and out. So Carl Long's driving the 66 this week. Carl Long is the owner of the team. So Carl Long, I just, like, 66 car is usually the one that comes to starting parks. Like, Stephen Light usually drives it, and he's a starting park. That's what the 66 is. But this week, that car has sponsorship, and I just wouldn't expect Carl Long to race one race this year and to just come and start in park. It just wouldn't make sense to me. Like, I just don't see any reason why he would just race a start in park race. If he was coming in to race, I feel like he would actually try to race. So that makes me a little interested in him, and he, could move up, and he's $4,500. Like, that's just not going to kill you at all. So he's really risky, really risky. I'll be playing some of him, but very, very risky play. Both those two are, but they're also very, very cheap. You don't need to go there. You can just go to Josh Ryune as value, and you'll be fine. But those two definitely have some upside, and they allow you to play some really, really good drivers in your lineup. So, but I think that's really all I got to say in this video. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. A lot of good information. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Tell me who you think the best value play in the slate is. I think it's Snyder, honestly. So tell me who you think it is in the comments below. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Make sure to check out the Truck Series video and the Cup Series video and all my NFL stuff.